What's going on, everybody? I am back with another Prizepicks WNBA player props video. This one going to be breaking it down, giving you guys 5 picks, get you winning some money over here on Prizepicks. As always, if you haven't checked out Prizepicks, would highly recommend you check them out. It is a player props website and app where you can win money off of picking the over and under on things like players' points, assists, rebounds, assists, fantasy score, etc. Go ahead and use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100 on your first deposit today. Again, that is code KJK DFS. Go ahead and lock that in. Get that free money offer and start winning some money over here on Prizepicks today with these picks, guys. And if you are going to be very serious, I do offer premium content packages. That's the link below in the description. Patreon.com/KJK_DFS. You can get access to all my tools, my Discord, my core plays. Definitely check that out. And I will be launching a bunch of new, really good stuff over there on July 1st as well. So keep an eye out for that. But lastly, if you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. Let's try to get this thing up to 200 likes. The like goal is going to be 200 likes. It's 2 seconds. It's free. We've been on a roll with WNBA all season long. Looking to keep it going in this one. Had a bit of a tough go last time, but hey, I think nobody really did good that night. It was a little bit of an ugly slate. Turned a little bit ugly. Not even going to sweat it. We're going to bounce back today. Looking to go 5-0. Let's talk about it. We're going to go game by game, as we always do, and I love this slate. I think this is a big, don't overthink it type of slate with tons of star value, tons of spots that I like, and plenty of games to pick from with a 3-gamer as comparison to the 1-game slates we've been faced with oftentimes in the WNBA in the early season. So, let's get into it. First game, Phoenix Mercury taking on the Dallas Wings. This game comes in with a 169 over-under. It's a 5.5-point spread in favor of the Dallas Wings, so it is expected to stay close. It is expected to be a pretty decently paced game here. And the first pick I want to talk about is going to be one of my favorites all season long. As a matter of fact, all these ladies on this video might be my top 5 favorite picks that I've been going to all season long, and that's why I just think it's a big don't overthink it spot. But pick number 1, we're going to go with the over 37 fantasy score here for Skylar Diggins-Smith. She has hit this in 1, 2, 3 of the last 4, pushed in 1 of them, and I think she hits the over tonight. Once again, comes in with a 169 over-under. Plenty of pace in this game, and she has been phenomenal all season long. Looking at her game logs, how she's getting it done. Lots of block and steal equity, lots of minutes, and she contributes in all categories. This is going to be the theme of the video. I mean, all 5 of these picks, just the advanced metrics on my advanced metric sheets are phenomenal. They all play lots of minutes. They all get lots of blocks and steals. As far as the block and steal percentage compared to the entire rest of the league, every single thing that I'm looking for when I'm looking at fantasy score, they have the offer. And it all starts with Skylar Diggins-Smith here for the Phoenix Mercury. You look at her game logs and how she's contributing. 30-plus minutes a game, 33, 37, 33, 30 the last 4 times out. 14, 3, 5, 1 block, 1 steal. 25, 2, 6, 1 block, 1 steal. 21, 3, 10, 2 steals. 13, 5, 6, 3 blocks, 1 steal. 11, 3, 8, 3 blocks, 3 steals. So she's going to be on the floor for lots of minutes. She can score, she can rebound, she can assist, and she also does rack up the blocks and steals, all of which are very important for the fantasy score. And in a game with a 169 over-under where her team is favored by 5.5, obviously they have a pretty nice, hefty implied total. Would expect her to be able to go out there and have a big game. 37, I think she tops this. From a base projection aspect, I do have her projected for 39, but keep in mind, that's only base projection. Her ceiling's a lot higher. Also, her opponent versus position rank, her opponent ranks 10th in the league against her position. So, second to last against her position. I think Skylar Diggins-Smith has a big game tonight. Once again, very reliable. Lots of minutes, lots of blocks and steals. The ceiling is massive. Going to be the theme of this video as we continue along here. Skylar Diggins-Smith, pick number 1. Pick number 2. We're going to be heading to the next game, and we'll kick things off. Los Angeles Sparks taking on the Seattle Storm. It's a 9-point spread, 159.5 over-under. We'll kick it off with the Los Angeles Sparks side of things with their star player, another very consistent fantasy point producer that can produce in all categories, that gets blocks and steals, that scores, that does it all. That's Anika Ogwumike. I like her over 33.5 fantasy score here. She's averaging 34.8 over her last 5. She's also hit this in 3 of her last 5. Once again, nice, decently paced game here with a 159.5 over-under. And once again, you look at how she's getting it done. Her advanced metrics on my blocks, steals is very good as well. She's playing lots of minutes, and she does rack up a lot of steals specifically. But it's not just that. Points, rebounds, assists, does it all. Once again, last time out 29 minutes, she put up 15 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals. Time before 21, 6, 2, 1 block, 3 steals. 17, 10, 1 block, 2 steals, 16, 9, 2 steals, 2 steals in the game before. So she has racked up at least 2 steals, or at least a combination of 2 blocks and steals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games with room for even more upside. Once again, if you did not know, if you have not been watching my content, or you don't know how the fantasy scoring works for the WNBA, you get 3 points for every one of those blocks and steals. They are massive. That's why I like targeting fantasy scores so much. Obviously, the points, the rebounds, the assists are great, but the blocks and steals, you get 3 points for every one of those. That is very relevant when it comes to fantasy score. So I'm always looking for an edge of players that play lots of minutes, that contribute in all categories, but also rack up the blocks and steals in order to surpass their fantasy score, and it's my favorite thing to target. And Nneka Wnba definitely falls into that category. She's fantastic in all the above. 33.5 fantasy score, pick number 2. I'm going to be taking the over for her. As far as my projection for her, to give you an exact number, I've got her projected to go out there and put up 34 tonight. Once again, though, her ceiling is a lot higher. We're essentially betting on these players to hit their ceilings. Lots of times, Prizepicks is going to have their line set pretty appropriately, especially as the season goes on. We've had a few games here where I just disagree with the lines completely. This slate's a little bit different. The lines look pretty good, relatively, speaking. However, the star power and the ceiling of these players is where I'm at. And so pick number 2, I like the Nneka Wnba over 33.5 fantasy score. Pick number 2. And pick number 3, we're going to be running it back on the other side of the game with another star player, arguably the best player in the league, in Breanna Stewart. 159.5 over under. Once again, we're going to be targeting her fantasy score. 39.5 fantasy score for her. She does it all. She did this in 3 of the last 5, averaging 42.5 over her last 5. As far as on the season, her fantasy points per game, 42 fantasy points per game. And same story. Advanced metrics, very good. Plays lots of minutes, contributes in all categories, and also will rack up the blocks and steals. Ranks out as one of the top blocks and steals contributors on my sheets. Like Breanna Stewart, she has a 2.8 steal percentage with a 2.4 block percentage. That's fantastic. Pretty much anything up over 2 in each category is really good. I mean, there's some exceptions with block percentages and stuff that it's way up there. Nneka Wnba, who we just discussed, has a 2.5% steal percentage as well, 1.4% block percentage in my advanced metrics sheet. Skylar Diggins-Smith, who we talked about as well, 2.2% on steals and 2.4% on blocks. So the theme of the video carries on here with Breanna Stewart. 2.8% of steals, 2.4% of blocks, plays tons of minutes, averages 16 field goal attempts per game. She's putting up 19, 9, 7, 1 block, 18, 9, 2, 1 block, 1 steal. Honestly, these last 2 games, she hasn't even had the most block and steal equity, and she's still having really good games. 19, 7, 5, 1 block. 29, 8, 3, 1 steal. This is the type of game right here that we're looking for right here, where she put up 25, 8, and she had 1 block and 3 steals. That's the kind of upside when those blocks and steals, not to mention she's capable of scoring a lot more points, getting more rebounds, and getting more assists to go along on top of that. So, Breanna Stewart, pick number 3. We're going to be rocking with the over 39.5 projected fantasy score for her. And for picks number 4 and 5, we're going to be heading to the last game of the night. Kicks off at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. It's the Washington Mystics taking on the Las Vegas Aces. This game comes in with a 168.5 over under. It is a 9.5 point spread in favor of the Las Vegas Aces. And once again, we have 2 ladies that have been favorites of mine. We'll kick things off with Miss Derek Hamby, 31.5 fantasy score. We will gladly take the over. She's hit this in all 5 of her last games, averaging 35.2 over her last 5. She also plays lots of minutes, racks it up in all categories, gets blocks and steals. Hey, might sound like a broken record, but there's a reason for that. These are the type of players that I'm targeting when I want their fantasy score. I want their ceilings, and I want them to be able to get to that ceiling in as many ways as possible. She plays over 30 minutes a game. 15, 7, 2, 1 block, 3 steals. 16, 5, 1, 3 steals. 16, 2, 2, 1 block, 1 steal. 28, 3 steals. Once again, can't ask for much more when it comes to fantasy score when you're talking about Derek Hamby, and we'll continue to target her. She's been probably my favorite player to target early in the season. I think she's been everyone's favorite player because you look at the results. She's just been crushing. So Derek Hamby, pick number 4. I like the over 31.5 fantasy score for her. And pick number 5, we're going to be going with her teammate, another player that absolutely crushes. First of all, we just talked about Derek Hamby. The only thing with Derek Hamby, I will say, is on my advanced metrics sheet, her blocks actually don't look that great. She does pretty good in the steals category with a 1.8% steal percentage, but her recent form, she's been getting a lot more of those than what it indicates on my advanced metrics sheet. So that kind of took me by surprise. But at the same time, I'm sitting and looking at her game logs, and I'm like, if anything, I think those rates are probably going to increase as the year goes on because it's been pretty consistent, especially with the amount of minutes she plays. So, but the last pick I'm going to be going with is going to be her teammate. It is going to be AJ Wilson. I like the over 39.5 fantasy score for her here. Has hit this in 3 of the last 5. She's averaging 43.9. I talked about some exceptions to the rule as far as these percentage and blocks and all that stuff. She is definitely an exception to the rule. She plays 30 minutes per game, and her block percentage is 7%. That is absolutely elite. That might lead the league. Let's see. It's up there. Some of these players don't play full allotment of minutes. She's trailing Ezzy Magbeger, Awak Queer, and Liz Cambridge. So only 3 players she's trailing, but plays lots of minutes, gets lots of blocks. She'll rack up all the other points as well. Same thing we've been discussing. She averages 40 fantasy points per game. You look at her game logs. How is she getting there? Well, she's doing it all. 16, 11, 1, 2 blocks, 25 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 blocks, 1 steal, 25 points, 5 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 blocks, 2 steals, 35 points, 11 rebounds, 1 assist, 4 blocks, 2 steals. So, once again, all categories, has a lot of block and steal equity, plays lots of minutes, 30-plus minutes a game, everything that I'm looking for my player to be reaching their ceiling. And that is going to be my 5 picks to get you winning some money in the WNBA tonight. I think this is a great slate. Like I said, I think it's a big don't overthink it slate. We're locking in some of our favorite players, or at least my favorite players that I've been targeting all season long for the same reasons I've been discussing. 30-plus minutes, lots of block and steal equity. They contribute in all categories. Yeah, man. Can't ask for much more. Love targeting the fantasy score. Have all these ladies projected hit their over with the room for even more as far as their ceiling projection is concerned. So feeling good about it. If you enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any future content that I upload. If you haven't checked out the premium content packages, check those out, link below in the description. And if you haven't signed up for Prizepicks, sign up today. Use that promo code KJK DFS to receive an instant match on your first deposit up to $100. Wishing you guys all the best of luck on your WNBA player props tonight, and we will see you in the next one.